Hi, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Vegetarian Cooking Show. Today we're going to make a chestnut stuffing. It's real simple, easy to make, and completely vegetarian. So we're going to start that off. I'll give you a tour of the ingredients. We have some French bread, an onion, a couple mushrooms, any kind will do, some celery, a little bit of parsley, some sage, some thyme. Optionally, I'm using a little vegetarian sausage, and these chestnuts, which I am taking out of a jar, olive oil, vegetable stock, you could also use vegetable cube diluted in water, salt, pepper, and just a touch of a little Jim Beam, which is optional. Okay, so just slice a couple pieces of the bread. It looks like about enough. Cut it into cubes. Okay, so that looks like just about enough there. Just a little about the bread. I'm just using a nice French bread. I let dry out for a couple days. You really can use any kind of bread. Okay, so first we're going to take some chopped celery, about half a cup, and add that to some chopped onions, which I'm chopping here about medium thick. And they're going to go together into the pan and kind of melt down with a little olive oil. Okay, so I'm just finishing up chopping here about a half a cup of brown mushrooms. This was about 5 of them. Okay, so then I'm using a little of this gimme lean sausage, which I'm putting in little bowls in some olive oil, separate pieces here. And when that gets a little golden brown, it's going to be ready to go. So get it going, get a decent amount of olive oil, flip it up, and that's how I do my sausage. Alright, so we've taken some chestnuts out of the jar, about half a jar, which is going to yield us about 1 cup of chestnuts, which I'm just breaking into little pieces. Could use a knife, but I find it's easier this way. And then we're going to put them aside and mix them in later. Just chop the sage up a little bit. I love the smell of sage. And I don't mean in the morning. Alright, so we preheated up about a half a cup of olive oil, and in that we're going to add the cup of celery, half a cup, and half a cup of onion, and the half a cup of chopped mushrooms. Stir this, turn this down to medium, and just keep stirring it a little bit at a time until it cooks down to soft and tender. Alright, so the vegetables are getting nice and tender. It's been about 5 minutes they've been cooking down. And just in the last step here, I'm going to add the sausage, which I've pre-cooked, so it's just going to heat up in there. A cup of chestnuts, chopped parsley, sage, thyme, shot of Jim Beam. Get this mixed up. I have to say, this smells so good. Looks pretty good too, doesn't it? Alright. So, now we're going to add the breadcrumbs. Boom! Mix that up. Now, these breadcrumbs, you're going to get them a little soaked here. Now, just turn off the heat now. It's done cooking. This is just the mixing before it goes in. Now, the store-bought breadcrumbs that you buy, which you could use for this, a little smaller, but I like them this way. So, into this, you're going to add your cup of vegetable stock. Get those breadcrumbs nice and wet. And another mix. And I'm going to take this and put it into our baking dish that's going to go in the oven. Okay. So oh, that looks just about right. Alright, now we'll just pop this baby in the oven. Just like that. 350, 25 to 40 minutes. It should start to get a little crust on the top when it's done. And that's it. Alright, now so it's been about 30 minutes. The clock is chiming. It's time to take it out of the oven. And let's take a look and see how it is. Smells pretty good. Let's see here. Nice and crusty. I think that's done. So, let me get a little serving dish here. It smells really good. Alright, so here it is. Delicious chestnut sausage stuffing.